as two people who love to perform.
Is it possible for us to fear public speaking? Hang on for the loop!
4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
I'm Ricky!
I'm Jamie. Ricky, did you ever have to get up in front of your class when you were in school, and did it make you nervous?
Yes and no. I always get nervous before having to do anything in front of people, but I love it. I love giving speeches. I love talking in front of a class. It is my favorite thing.
I totally get that. I'm kind of yes and kind of no as well. So I love getting in front of my class and like reading or doing a presentation, but when it comes to singing, I always get a little bit nervous. So I remember the first time that I sang at my church, I was a nervous wreck, but my pastor gave me a second chance, actually, and so I got to get back up on stage and try it again.
I too get nervous when I'm singing.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you know that over 75% of the population dreads public speaking?
The fear of performing in front of everybody is pretty common.
What's that?
It's a weather alert from the Loop Show weather studio. It could be dangerous. Let's check in with Wendy and see what's going on.
Thanks, Christy. No need to worry, but I've sounded the alarm because the world is ending. That's right, this Friday is the big show, the big test, the big game. Whatever is the biggest performance or presentation of your life, it's happening at the end of this week. So let's take a look at that forecast leading up to the big event. On Monday, you should start to see nerves arriving. Expect a mounting tension to riddle your nervous system with dread. On Tuesday, that small haze of jitters will balloon into a giant tower cloud of self-doubt, filling your mind with insecurity. Your confidence will be shaken as you imagine every nightmare scenario where you say something embarrassing in front of everyone. By Wednesday, you will reach new levels of sleeplessness as you realize just how vulnerable your life is when it is on display in front of the entire world. You should see dry mouth and nausea and bouts of standing in front of your closet convincing yourself that you have nothing to wear. By Thursday, the temperatures will continue to rise in your armpits, but will plummet below your knees. This will bring shocking amounts of flop sweat and cold feet. On Friday, and it all comes down to this, you will have nowhere to hide from the swarm of butterflies bouncing around your guts and destroying your stomach. Whatever happens and whatever you say will be judged and remembered forever. Now, not to overstate this, but this one moment on this one day will determine whether or not our planet keeps spinning. Everyone is watching, and it all rests on your shoulders. Better not embarrass yourself. For Loop Show Weather, I'm Wendy Rainbow Perkins. Back to you in the studio, guys.
I don't even understand why we have weather reports.
Okay. I know that she can be a little over the top, but it really does feel that way sometimes. When we're nervous about something, it can feel like the end of the world.
But the world's not really ending. Right?
Yeah.
All right, let's ask some questions. First of all, how nervous do you get when you have to speak in front of people?
Very nervous.
Very nervous.
Yeah, it makes my hands like really clammy and...
Yeah, I gotta agree on that. No, I get very nervous because
Yeah.
what if you say the wrong thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then what are people gonna think of you?
I think it's especially if it's like people that are very important or that you view as important. It's like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
I gotta say the perfect things or they're gonna talk behind my back and stuff like that.
Right. I get nervous because I want to look like I know what I'm talking about. Right. And I don't always know what I'm talking about, so. Are you ever afraid of what people think of you?
All the time.
Yeah.
When I was in middle school, if I was afraid that if I didn't say the right thing or if what I had to say wasn't cool enough,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have the friends that I wanted or I wouldn't be the popular kid. So it was,
Yeah.
I still sometimes think that way.
Yeah. It's easy to look at who we think is popular and just care about what they think.
Right.
And then be afraid that they're not going to accept us when like their approval doesn't really matter in the end.
Yeah. I definitely, when I was younger, would just want to be in the corner, not talking, not having anyone look at me. But when I did speak up, I tried to be like the popular people, which didn't help me. But I've learned how to be myself, and then people like me more because I'm being myself.
Yeah. Isn't that funny how that works?
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, I think it's pretty crazy that like when you try to imitate other people or kind of like what their actions are, and it doesn't match up with who you are and how God made you, it's like you're fighting something inside you, you know, and it doesn't feel normal and you feel kind of fake on the inside. And I think I did that like for a while, and I was like, man, this isn't working. Like it's making me not feel good. I would rather be just me, just the way that God made me.
Yeah. I think a lot of times we care too much about what people think, and we wonder, like, are people looking at me? Like, are they gonna think what I'm wearing is weird, or what I said was weird, or am I gonna embarrass myself? And we put a lot of weight in what people think about us, and it's hard because we can't control people's responses to like what they're saying or what they're doing, and I think sometimes that fear can make us avoid certain situations with people, or even that embarrassment can turn into like anger when we let God into that. Like, we don't let fear win. Like, God helps us handle those emotions that we're feeling.
Right.
And he knows how we are on the inside when, you know, we're scared or embarrassed. And his spirit, it helps us be as cool as a cucumber when we're around people. And it makes us feel like, oh man, I'm okay, I can do this, you know? And he helps us be the best versions of ourselves around people. And because we're relying on his approval, which we already have, not the approval of others.
Yeah, I think when we realize like that we are accepted by him, just like as we are, and that we're being new in him, it's like, man, do I really even need to worry about like doing this crazy thing or saying the right thing or dressing this way?
Yeah.
Especially if God knows what's best for us. It's like, oh, the person who knows what's best for me is the one who has approval of me. Like, that's an amazing thing.
I got you. That scared you. Hey, I got a PSA for you. I'm Jump Scare Jimmy. I'm the king of all jump scares. It's hard to keep your cool when I'm around, jumping and scaring everything I see. All right.
Okay, I'm admittedly a little nervous.
We're in the Loop Show classroom, but we aren't sure why.
Are we in trouble?
Ooh, look at that.
Let's see.
Mystery hands in the
So this is
classroom.
to Ricky and Jamie.
Oh, from Mystery Hand.
Okay, let's see. Just pull. Boop. All right. It's a common nightmare to stand in front of a class and give a report on a book that you didn't read.
Yes.
Don't worry, bookworms. We did all the work. We wrote your book reports and loaded them up into the teleprompter for you. Oh, there it goes. But no class clowns are allowed. If you smile or react at all while the reports are being given, you will lose a point. The winner will get an A+, and the not winner will get a smoothie from the Loop Show cafeteria.
Oh no.
It's time for the Try Not to Laugh book report.
Oh boy.
This is my book report. I read Doris the Barfing Seahorse by Dolly Parton's little sister Dilly. This is a 5-star book. Is what I would say if I actually read it and if I knew what stars were. This book was recommended to me by that small kid who lurks in the back of the library. His name is Mean Eugene, and he bites. He said, I'd like this book if I liked extra lumpy soup. And man, I love lumpy soup. I like lump. My favorite lump is hard potato lump. Second is the chewy one that tastes like sugar. Or as I like to say, sugar lump. In conclusion, my book was nothing like soup, but tasted like paper.
My book is called Author Stupid Encyclopedia by Gerfield Normal. Reading this book was like going to a stranger's house and pouring cement in their mailbox. It's all about a cowboy hat who comes to life and says, howdy, partner. Wait, I can't do that. I can do that better. Like this, howdy, partner. Hey, howdy, do-dong pal. Papa. Anywho, He becomes friends with a wandering coyote, and I won't spoil the ending, but somehow the hat gets rabies. I give it a 6 out of 7, thank you.
For my next book report, this was the soggiest book I've ever read in my 83 years on this earth. I like reading in the great outdoors. Books are just repurposed trees, so I call reading leaf peeping. When I finished this book, I read it again and again. This is the first day I've seen daylight in a while. I can't stop reading it, and I never will.
Are looking for a big old chunky book? Check out Screaming About Beans by Mr. Boogerman Fuzzy Buns. It's the 4th book in the Cottage Cheese Warrior series, and in this book, things get cranked up to the max. This is like Fast and Furious, but instead of cars. This is like Fast and Furious, but instead of cars, it's cottage cheese. Full disclosure, I didn't read this, but I listened to the audiobook. It took 21 hours.
All right, do you have any tips for building confidence when you're afraid to do something?
I would say asking a friend. If you tell your friends about it, they're going to be there for you. And tell them what you're dealing with. Tell them what you're scared about. And they can give you some good advice.
They can be your hype people.
Oh, absolutely.
I think maybe just taking a moment and being like, hey, I can do this.
Yeah.
You gotta hype yourself up. You gotta get through it. You can do this. God's got you. And just keep chugging forward.
Yeah.
I think especially like asking for prayer, you know, asking God. Like God is the Father who wants to help you get through stuff. It's like asking him to be your hype man in a sense. But
yeah, for sure.
I think for me, I like to say out loud what I'm afraid of. And that power kind of goes away. If it's something, sometimes it's really silly. It's like, I'm afraid they're gonna think my shoes look weird. Right. And you say it out loud and you're like, that's really silly. Why do I think that? And then that power of the fear goes down. Because you're like, I shouldn't think that.
Okay, was there ever a time you found that you were uniquely made to do something that you were scared of?
I was always afraid to like comfort people, even though I'm a good listener and I like talking to people, you know? When people were bullied or someone made fun of something, like I'd just not say anything. And I think that I could have said something and it would have really meant something to that person and even to me.
I think for me, I'm someone that gets excited about very, very small things. Sometimes people just need that little glimpse of happiness or that compliment. You never know how your words can affect someone's day. And so I know I'm called to do that. And so that's something I need to learn to not be afraid of doing.
Yeah, we are supposed to bring what God gave us to bring to the table. Like bring everything about us to situations, to our friendships, to, you know, maybe it's a presentation at school even, whatever it is, like just coming with everything that we've been given. Even though it can be scary, it's always worth it. I think you said it, just pray. Like just ask God, hey, I need help right now. Like I need help to work through this fear, these feelings. But it's also super important to tell someone else about it. When we're in those feelings, when we're really in our head, trusted people in our life, like a parent or a friend or even a therapist, like if they don't hear you the first time, don't give up, ask again. Like say, hey, I'm really struggling with these feelings. It's really important. When I talk about those things with God and other people, they almost become more clear. Like you said, they lose their power.
The worst thing is to be alone in your fear. And so sharing your fear with others, again, brings the power down, but also you just feel seen and known, and it's very important to talk about it.
It's like a candle in a dark room. So when you light another candle, there's more light. That's what it feels like when you talk with people and kind of include people into that maybe fear or something in your life. It just makes the room feel lighter. It just makes their fears feel smaller.
Even if we feel like we're alone, we're never really alone because God is always with us, but there are people that care about us and want to hear about what we have to say and what we're feeling. God gave us His Spirit, and the Spirit doesn't make us weak and fearful. Instead, the Spirit gives us power and love. He helps us control ourselves. And that is like the biggest comfort that we could have, that we have that Spirit with us.
Nervous about performing? Trade your trembling for truth. God listens when you need help. Instead of asking, what will people think? Ask, what can I give others? What if you're uniquely made to do the thing that scares you most? When you fear how you appear, you can trust that God gave you help. You can stay cool and say, I've got this because God's got me. Stay calm, stay cool, stay curious.
All right, so the grades are in, and I got a 15.
And I got a 27, which is the topsy-turvy world of Loop Show School. So the Loop Show Lunch Lady is gonna bring in our prizes.
Try not to be nervous.
Do we
Oh,
get?
look at this! An A+ championship. Oh, and that looks like an A+ smoothie.
You all need to look at this.
Should we ask what's in it?
I know
Should
it.
you
No,
just-
Jamie, I know exactly what's in this.
I mean, it's orange, so carrots.
It's a Sloppy Joe smoothie.
Have you had one before?
No, Jamie, I just
Oh, okay, you're just gonna drink it. Okay.
remember me as I was.
It's on his lip. It's on his lip. Ricky.
Oh.
You can smell it over here.
Ooh, that?
You did it! So you didn't throw up.
Well, the jury's still out.
Oh. Are you gonna
Classroom
spit it out in it?
paper.
Oh, to wipe off your.
I'm gonna give this Sloppy Joe an F+.
Staying cool when you're nervous can be tough.
Yeah, when you're feeling less than confident about something, talk to God about it.
Talk to others.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Nerves can shake us,
And self-doubt can scare us.
but God is always ready to help.
You've got this because He's got you.
You don't have to be scared. You can
Enjoy the ride!
Do, 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 do. That's my victory song. The last smoothie that I had was super gross. It was a sardine smoothie, super chunky. I gagged. But if you want to check it out, check out our Hope on a Rope episode. That's where you'll see it.
Yeah, and we got an assignment for you in the comments. Leave us a fake book title. Just make one up with your brain.